everybody. Welcome back to the Gaming Corner podcast. I am Josiah.
I'm Landon.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Presto. I'm here. Preston the Magnificent. That's me.
This is a bit of a different episode for us today. We have our very first guest, which, like you said, his name is Presto the Magnificent. If you've never heard of him, what are you doing with your life? Also, he runs the Off the Law podcast, which I had guest starred on.
Yeah.
On what, episode 52? Was it 52?
Episode 52. Yep, 52. You can find that podcast on YouTube, Audible, Podchaser, literally wherever you want to get your podcast from. Spotify, It's there too. Running a YouTube channel, Presto the Magnificent 4194, I believe it is. And the first video on that should be going up pretty soon. It might be up by the time that this episode reaches you listeners, and that'll be on Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. So go check that out if you like content.
Very busy man, but makes very good content, as he said to me. Thank you very much for that. Presto would talk to me about his Dark Moon video, and from what I've read, like all the scripts that he sent me, they are very good. I like how you write. I like your writing style, and I really like how you do your videos. So keep it up, man. You're doing really good with all your videos. I like how they're turning out.
I'm not turning out 5 videos a week like you are, but I'm working on it.
No, 9. Get it right now. Moving on from that, let's go into our gaming news.
So first up, we have the Pokemon TV app. It's shutting down. Pokemon TV, the streaming service for Pokemon shows and films, is shutting down in March, leaving fans frustrated as they will have to find content on different streaming sites. The reason for the shutdown is unclear, but fans speculate that a new streaming service may be revealed soon, possibly during Pokemon Day. Pokemon is a massive franchise that includes games, TV shows, films, and more, making its streaming service closure disappointing for dedicated fans.
Now, personally, I've never actually used Pokemon TV. I've never really been too in-depth with Pokemon. I've owned a few of the games, and for what I've played, they're very good. I'm not really into the anime that's out.
If you haven't used the Pokemon TV app, then you haven't lived a good life. That's all I'm saying.
Well, now I'm very sad. Now I'm very sad in my life.
Josiah hasn't lived a good life.
This is how I lived without Netflix. If I wanted to watch Pokemon, I would just go to the Pokemon TV app. It's free. It's on the Switch. Netflix isn't free. Netflix isn't on the Switch. Universal Studios Japan is going to get Donkey Kong added to Super Nintendo World in 2024. Recently, an advertisement was released showing off an addition to the Super Nintendo World area in Japan's Universal Studios, which shows off the new park, as well as a new mine ride inspired by Donkey Kong Country. One of the standout features of this ride is the inclusion of the cart coming off the track. I really just want to see how this works. How are they getting a minecart to launch off the track and land back on? I mean, it has to be something with magnets, right?
Okay, so
that's
I know how this works. I know how this works from what I've seen, okay? From all the patents that have come out. It's not actually coming off the track. So it's on the actual track itself, but imagine a bar and it's all attached to it through from one faraway section to another faraway section. The cart is attached to that bar, and it gives the illusion that it's jumping off the track.
I do not understand anything that you just said, Josiah, but that's okay.
Me neither.
Okay.
Something about a bar and attached to get off the track, but
I will try to put a visual in the video.
Listeners, the Apple Vision Pro has been released to the public, and the ratings are off the wall. Technology in this headset is like nothing you've ever seen before, and really warrants you to buy this. But all that comes with a price, a very steep price of $3,500. With that price, it seems like a no-brainer to go with the MetaQuest 3, but we'll try to bring more details with us in March.
Lego Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Great Deku Tree Lego set rumor is floating around. Recently, there have been some rumors about a Legend of Zelda Lego set based on the Great Deku Tree from the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The set is reportedly to have 2,500 pieces. People have been talking about Lego and Zelda for years, and with Nintendo partnering with Lego in 2020 to make the Mario Legos, it looks very likely that this relationship will continue between the two companies.
Landon, Now Landon, I want to hear your thoughts because we haven't heard much from you. I don't know, are you a quote-unquote Lego fanboy as much as Presto is?
I used to be, not really anymore though.
Not really anymore. Presto, what do you have to say to that?
Yeah, I would say that I used to be a great Lego fan, but I'm not really anymore.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has gotten its official title screen. For what it looks like, it's a Sonic and Shadow logo almost combined. To me, it's similar to what we saw with the Sonic and Knuckles logo on the Genesis. I'm really excited to see this film, and thankfully we're not going to have to wait really long as it sports a wonderful, beautiful, amazing, fun December 2024 release date. The actual release date is December 20th, so that's 5 days before Christmas.
Another thing that about the logo drop that my co-host Logan noticed is that it's very metallic in design. So he thought that maybe it meant like a Metal Sonic reveal.
That's
I
right.
don't think that we need Metal Sonic because Shadow's backstory is enough, but it could happen.
Yeah, my biggest thing is with this movie, we're having so many characters introduced. I don't know how they're going to be able to balance all this. Not only Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but now we have Shadow and possibly even a Metal Sonic, along with the return of Robotnik. Jim Carrey is literally coming out of retirement to do this.
He was confirmed? Yes.
That's his
I
laugh.
love
That's the
Jim Carrey's
laugh.
the first
That's the
robot.
laugh. That is his laugh in the trailer.
I didn't even notice that.
Neither did I until somebody else pointed it out. I thought it was Shadows, but then I'm like, oh my goodness.
I noticed the laugh.
That's Jim
but
Carrey.
I just thought it was like, I don't know.
Now we're gonna move into the latest gaming releases.
Yeah, it's Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out February 29th, 2024. I've heard that the remake was really good, so nothing but high hopes for this one.
I don't know anything about it, but Persona 3 Reload came out today, which, sure, came out today.
There's nothing
Yeah,
else to
that's-
say about Persona. Persona is Persona. Persona is Persona.
Exactly.
I've heard that this game is good.
I've equally heard that Persona 3 is good. I don't know about Reload, but I've heard that Persona 3 is very good. Moving on from that, we have the Star Wars Dark Forces remaster coming out on February 28th. This is a remaster, of course, of Star Wars Dark Forces. We're very excited for all these things. Preston, from what I've known about you, you're a very big Star Wars fan.
Yes. Star Wars is a win for me. So excited for Bad Batch, which is also releasing this month.
Mm-hmm.
On the same day as the Splatoon 3 DLC.
So it's going to be a field day for you. In the topic of today's episode is the Switch 2, which I'm going on a bit of a tangent. This year, they have...
That is okay.
This year and last year, they have done so much with Donkey Kong. Have you guys noticed that?
Not really.
We've had Mario vs. DK.
Mario vs.
and
Donkey
a
Kong.
whole two Donkey Kong characters. Two Donkey Kong characters were added to Mario Kart, Funky Kong and Diddy Kong.
Yeah.
True.
Donkey Kong
This is
Land.
just-
And then
It's a
Mario
sign.
movie.
Donkey Kong Land was just
And Donkey Kong
announced.
Land. Mario movie had a lot of DK featured in it.
Oh yeah. I really feel like they're trying to level up for I unintentionally made that pun, but leveling up for something happening in a Nintendo Direct. I feel like they're coming upon that but they're gonna do something.
I have
They're gonna do something.
Yeah. The last release, this is not a game, but it is a DLC and a very, very well
Anticipated?
anticipated. That's the word. It's a very anticipated DLC for the hit game Splatoon 3. My co-host Octoboy would be screaming about this right now if he was on the show. Splatoon 3 Side Order is releasing on February 22nd, 2024, and it's like a it's like a roguelike Splatoon from what we know of it.
Okay.
Almost. We don't know much about it, but
Yeah,
it looks really cool.
I don't really mess too much with Splatoon because I'm a basic person, so I really don't delve too deep into Splatoon. I've played a bit.
I played Splatoon 2. I don't own Splatoon 3, but I played through most of Splatoon 2.
The games themselves seemed fun, but the fact that my Wi-Fi was absolutely horrible made it so that I couldn't play it.
Yeah.
Or at least the online version, or the online part. I could play the story, but I don't know.
I barely played online at all. I basically just play the story mode.
Now, Landon,
Wow.
Landon, do you play any of the Splatoon games, anything like that?
I've never played a Splatoon game at all.
Oh my goodness, Preston, we're gonna have to get this man some Splatoon.
We have to hook him up.
Is there a
Some
demo
Splatoon.
for it?
I know that for Splatoon 3, there was something that came out for it.
It was a test fire.
That was it.
and they
That's
had like
it.
a splat.
That was it. But I had to.
I
I had
was
to
in
work
that.
that. I had to work that week, so I wasn't. I had to work that week, so I wasn't able to do it, and that made me so mad. So,
Oh yeah.
Didn't it
That's
release
a
for
skill
like
issue.
$70 or something?
okay. So Tears of the Kingdom released for 70. I don't think Splatoon
Yeah.
3 did. No.
No other games since then. No other games at all have released for $70 except for Tears of the Kingdom,
Which is something.
which is fair because that game is
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
It's a big game. I know that me and Jonathan have gone back and forth a lot about it. How he says it's an actual game. I say it. I say that
Bro,
it's more so
it
DLC. But
It is an actual game. You have to agree with me. You have
I know that
You
it's
are
a
legally
game.
required.
I know that it's a game, but it's too similar to Breath of the Wild. I mean, like, it's built off the exact same engine.
True.
The only thing it adds is the sky and underground, things that Mario has been doing for years.
How do these things make it not a game though?
It shouldn't warrant the $70 is what I'm really saying.
But they're repackaging something
no.
so that they can resell it. I don't know.
It's
Sorry.
not. It's not a repackage because they improved the engine. They changed literally the entire villages are the same, but every village has a new side quest for you to do. It's a true sequel. It has all new dungeons. It has all new mechanics, completely different abilities from what was in the original. Better even abilities than were in the original. A better story than the original. It's just Breath of the Wild, but better. And it's.
I like that
I say this
Presto
now,
just.
it's $5 a game.
I don't know.
How,
That was amazing.
How Preston just
couldn't-
solved it all.
He just solved it. He just solved this like year-long debate in like one sentence.
You could have been here earlier. Moving on from that, let's go into the games that we have been playing. Personally, I've been playing quite a bit of Mario Kart 64. My parents' friend gave me and my brothers a gift card for Christmas. I decided to use mine for Mario Kart 64, which is what I was streaming earlier. A big problem with it is it's a bootleg. Oof. I did.
What?
I did not realize it. I probably should have earlier because I bought it from Walmart for $20.
Bruh.
But
Have a bootleg gaming January, I guess.
But if you look at it, the Nintendo logo is completely different. The 64 logo is different. I feel like they would have made more money a lot quicker if they would have just copied and pasted it. But no, they had to put in the full work to redo the entire front.
Oh yeah.
But moving on from that, I've been playing a lot of Mario World because I bought it for $16. An official copy, might I add, at a game store. I was in my cousin's birthday party. Little cousin's birthday party. He was in a mall. I was walking around, saw this little game store. I'm like, oh boy. I go in there. I see Mario World on the shelf, $60. Oh boy. I buy it. It works. Oh boy. Take it home. I stream it. Oh boy. And here we are today.
Awesome.
Dang.
And finally,
Hey, at least you didn't get a free copy of a game with your shipment like Josiah did.
oh yeah, I talked about this in the
Oh,
last
man.
episode. I got a free copy of Paper Mario 64 from DK Oldies.
That's insane.
Thanks, guys. But yeah, other than that, I've really just been playing a lot of GoldenEye. Like a lot of it. Both between the 64.
Is that have you played the campaign for that game? Is it good?
Oh, it is really good. Like, really good. Especially for the 64. If you were playing it with an original 64 controller on a fuzzy CRT with the original stuff and everything, it is so cool. Now, it's also available on the Xbox Game Pass. When Microsoft acquired Rare, they also got the rights for GoldenEye. But it's such a good game. It's really good with the Xbox controller, but if you want a really good, authentic experience, do it with the N64. I'm gonna go on a little rant here. GoldenEye on Nintendo Switch Online's expansion pack on the 64, those controls are awful. Like, straight up, flat out, honestly awful. Like, they switch, like, as you're playing, like, both the camera and the movement. You'd think that, oh, the left one moves and the right one looks. No, it changes on the fly, it seems. It is awful.
I figured them out for some games like Paper Mario 64, but it's because of the right stick buttons that the N64 controller had that mapped the right stick, but also the bottom and right are now mapped to X and Y on your Switch controller.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Very, yeah, which I guess, I mean, it works, and once you figure it out, like there's a
you
game
get
that I've been
used to
playing
it.
on that.
You get used to it, but like, oh,
It's weird. It's not natural.
It's not very good. It's not natural, like he was saying. It's not. No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't
It
exist.
shouldn't.
How could it?
First up, I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild's Master Mode. I have done 2 out of the 4 dungeons. I just started on the 3rd dungeon. I'm gonna be completely honest here. It's not as hard as it might seem at first. Like, it's hard, but it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I find it really weird that Tears of the Kingdom doesn't have a master mode.
Yes. That. Oh my goodness, this is so weird.
Personally, I can't say anything about it because I don't own Tears
How
of the
dare
Kingdom.
you, Josiah?
Hey, look, I don't have $70 on the fly. My capture card just broke. I'm going in debt, baby.
I started playing, and I played like once, but I played Minecraft PC mods, experimenting, Sound Physics Remastered, and Ambient Sounds 5. I just wanted to see like what it was like. I've also been playing Burnout Paradise Remastered. That's a fun game. I've been kind of going through with like the different cars and just like unlocking their special versions.
Yeah.
So that's fun. No Man's Sky. I don't really know what I've been doing in that game, but I've been doing stuff. And Stardew
What do you
Valley.
have No Man's Sky for? Is that the Switch or Xbox or?
Switch. So no
Nice.
multiplayer.
No multiplayer.
Which is
No
fun.
multiplayer yet. They're working on it.
Yeah. Really? Oh, that's awesome.
I heard.
I
That,
cannot
I
wait.
thought I heard that they were.
I hope they are.
Awesome.
I've heard a lot of fun things about No Man's Sky, but particularly that the game wasn't finished, which is the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
well, it's finished
When it
now. And the
dropped.
Switch port.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Switch port is feature complete, like down to a T. It's a miracle port, honestly. It just doesn't have online multiplayer.
It reminds
That's the only difference.
It reminds me a lot of Mario Strikers Battle League, or like any game like that where they'll put up the game, but then they'll like slowly release content for it. But when it comes out, it's just bare. It's just bad. It's just bad.
Yeah.
Except for Mario Strikers Battle League never got enough content. to be a
Exactly, and
full
it
game.
still doesn't have enough content to be a full game, even with all the updates and it literally being abandoned by everybody. No, that was the absolute worst way Nintendo could have had a comeback to the Mario Sports series. I hope they do something good for Sluggers. That's it. I couldn't think of the
Slugger.
name. Couldn't think of it. Mario Baseball, but with some fun twist. Just don't make the fun twist bad DLC.
I've also been playing Stardew Valley,
Stardew Valley.
which is fun. It's a farming game.
Awesome.
That's it. The
Awesome.
greatest
I agree.
farming sim ever.
So I've been playing Halo Infinite, mostly the campaign, but I have played some multiplayer. The new Sea of Thieves Season 11 came out a few days ago, so I've been playing that. Well, I have been playing Burnout Paradise, Forza Horizon 5, and Jedi Fallen Order.
Now,
Awesome.
I know
Nice.
that I had gone over to Landon's house, like, maybe, what was it, a week ago? But we had been playing Halo Infinite. That was the first time that I had really played it.
I've been playing through Paper Mario 64, trying to finish that game, because we have a thing on my show called Make You Beat, where you have to beat a game in a certain amount of time, and if you don't, you get a punishment. The last punishment that I got was eating an entire box of cereal with water instead of milk. So
That's
I'm gonna finish
horrible.
this game.
No. So now
You can
What
find it in the
besides
old
the-
videos playlist on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I might.
Okay.
I recorded it live.
I might look at that.
Presto. What decides
Yeah.
the punishments?
The person who assigns you the game decides the punishment. I've also got a bit lost in Pokemon Sun. I decided to name all of my Pokemon after people I know. So like my Wingull is named, or my Pelipper is named Tyler, and my Ghastly is named Seth, and just et cetera, et cetera. I have an Inkay named Octoboy. And I've just been playing through, well, Ultra Sun specifically. And it's pretty fun game. I've also been playing through Link Between Worlds. I have one more dungeon to finish, and then I will be done with. I will have beaten a Zelda game that isn't Breath of the Wild, like a traditional dungeon-based Zelda game, because I've never done that before. Link Between
That's
Worlds,
awesome.
it's like 2D. I describe it as 2D Breath of the Wild. It's really good, and if you have a way to play it and you haven't yet, please go check it
Yeah.
out. It's such a good game. So the next game on my list is Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, which I played just to work on the video essay for that. And that's also a very good game. Also for the 3DS, I played some Super Mario 3D Land, just running around, getting some gold medals on that. Very fun. And then on Logan, Octoboy, he's one of my co-hosts, we used his Wii U to play Mario Party 10, which is actually a very fun game. Like, it's not traditional Mario Party, but Mario Party 9 and Mario Party 10 still have good mini games and are still chaotic as all get out, and very fun to play multiplayer. We also played Smash Bros. For Wii U, except for I got to use the 3DS as a controller. And then the last game that we played was a Bandai Namco, I believe, game called Tank. This game lets you use the Wii U gamepad to take a picture of whatever you want. It's supposed to be yourself, but like I took a picture of Scott the Woz, put him on a giant mech gorilla, then we all had to fight him.
Moving on from that, let's go on to our latest gaming pickups. So our latest gaming pickups, at least for me, I bought, like I said earlier, Mario Kart 64 on the N64. Gift cards are great. You should try it sometime. Then I went up to... I did an episode of Retro Rewind on this. The Exchange in Belden, Ohio. I bought 3 games. 1080 Snowboarding on the N64. Major League Baseball on the NES. And We're Back at Dinosaur Store because I was tired. So, 1080 Snowboarding, really good game. MLB... haven't really been able to figure that one out. We're Back at Dinosaur Story. It's a fever dream. What more can I say about it? But they're all very fun things to have in my collection.
Poppy Playtime Chapter 1.
Oh,
It was a
no.
free game on the Steam. It was a free game on Steam, so I played it up until the point where I knew that Huggy Wuggy came out of the door frame, and I stopped playing.
He's playing horror games up until he gets scared.
He gets scared.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go outside, but the second I see grass, I'm gonna book it. I'm
Or
booking
the
it.
sun, for example. Otherwise, that's it.
That's
I'm
it.
scared of the sun and the moon. Mr. Kirby.
I knew it. I knew it. The
Trevor's
sun and the moon are bad. Moving on from that, we're going to go straight into the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks.
Disclaimer! Take these leaks with a grain of salt. This is Nintendo we're talking about. They could easily be feeding us false information, or the people who have fed us the information were simply wrong. Alright, on to the leaks.
I'm not sure how true this is, but we'll take it with, like Jonathan said, with a grain of salt. Nintendo Focus seems to be the official leaked name. I'm very torn about this name.
I don't want it to be focused
I
at
don't.
all.
I don't
But
either.
That's what I saw.
I don't
So-
either. I don't either. I don't. I don't want it to be Focus. I don't know what to think about this. This is not.
It's interesting.
This is not what I want to see. I don't like this at
Not
all.
really.
It's a square, but
It's really boring.
it is. Like,
Yeah.
what does Focus
Okay,
mean?
I'm gonna be honest. It's probably not gonna be this.
It's
but we're just gonna use
prob-
it for content.
It is probably not going to be that. I'm not going to bet my head on it.
The only reason I can see Nintendo going away from the Switch as a name is because they're like, oh yeah, the Wii U. We had Wii in the title and that sold terribly, so therefore we can't have Switch in the name of the Switch too.
No, it was because the name didn't
Okay.
make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Wii U.
It's
what?
we, it's we, it's all of us, but it's only you. Imagine the possibilities. That's your job.
Wow.
From that, it's supposedly supposed to release between September 24th and November 3rd. So late September to early November. That coincides easily with Nintendo's previous system releases, which I'm hoping is gonna be with this system as well.
Actually, what I've been saying is the Switch 2 is going to be announced after Showtime comes out, because if you look at the rest of the slate for this year, it's remakes, remasters. Literally, that's all it is. We got Luigi's Mansion, Paper Mario. After Showtime, it's just those. So unless the February Direct gives us a bunch of games to look forward to, it's coming out this year.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah.
that's a
Because
big
Switch
thing.
is kind of like winding down. It had its last hurrah with 2023. So that's my theory, at least.
There have been a lot of rumors coming out that Sharp, the screen company Sharp, is developing the screens for this system. They will be LCD, not OLED. That's very interesting.
I can see that.
Now,
It's almost unfortunate, but not, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know nothing about like the difference between LCD and OLED. So having like, oh yeah, this is a Switch with an OLED screen and all this other stuff might make it confusing to the customer. And if LCD is just as good or even almost as good, then just go with that. It might also be cheaper. I don't know.
yeah, we're gonna get into pricing of this system. This is very, very interesting. The base model, which is 64 gigs, which that's gonna be across both the base and the Pro model, or like the deluxe set, if we wanted to call it. If we're going with the Wii U, but we don't want to. It's gonna start out for $400. Okay. The real kicker here, the base model will be a digital-only system. Okay.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I could never see Nintendo taking the Switch to
Neither could I.
digital only games.
But then you also got to know, this is Nintendo we're talking about. They're going to do whatever they can to make more money, which is exactly why the Pro model is going to be $50 more, physical and digital.
If that does happen, I will pay the extra $50 just so I can play my physical games.
I'm a
then
collector. I
again-
have to, or else my Switch is going to be rendered obsolete. I'm not going to be able to play any of my games, which is something that we're going to be talking about in a bit.
Right.
It's very, very interesting.
Well, it's a stupid decision for us, but it would be makes sense for the company, right?
Absolutely, because
My
at
only
the
thought-
at the end of the day, Nintendo is a company. They are there to make money.
Then again, I also can't really see anybody buying the digital only unless it's like their first gaming console or they don't have a huge amount of Switch
Exactly.
a huge amount of Switch games.
Mhm.
So basically,
And-
everybody's gonna buy the Pro, and
With the Switch install base as big as it already is, like why even release a
Yeah.
digital only? Because
Exactly.
that's more for, or if you're like Xbox where you can just transfer all of your game save data over. I suppose that would make more sense.
Yeah.
But
Now,
Nintendo's a Japanese company. They're A, behind the times, and B, they probably prefer more physical things. Because
Exactly.
all of their fans.
exactly. And with this, I'm going to go up to our next point, which is actually at the bottom of this list. The original Switch games will be available on Switch 2, but this is the most interesting thing, the scariest thing that I've seen. You're going to have a $3 transfer fee to play your Switch games on your Switch 2. This is
Oh.
scary. Please don't.
That is scary.
Please don't have this happen. I am
This-
begging Nintendo. Please don't let
That
this happen.
feels like a Nintendo thing to really do.
that'll be like
It is,
$20 for me.
it is so scary.
Like
Oh.
$100 from so many
Now,
Switch games.
a big thing if this happens is, will $70 games like Tears of the Kingdom, will they have this exact same price tag? And what if you buy a game, like if you're buying it from the eShop, okay, will you still have to have that price tag? Well, if it's a digital game, then probably not. But if it's a physical game, will you?
It makes more sense to me is instead of raising the price, is making all the original Switch games Nintendo selecting, some
That's
of, like,
exactly what I was
27.
thinking. Having them like Nintendo Selects, almost like what they did with the Wii, like price dropping them.
Yeah. Mario Maker 2, Luigi's Mansion 3, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon 2, all of them could go into a Nintendo Selects, which the Gamer Girls actually made a great episode on what stuff they want to put into Nintendo Selects. To go check that out. But that just makes all the sense in the world, is that the Switch 2 launches with new games and Nintendo Selects for the old games, because then you get all the people who didn't get those games that be like, oh, it's cheap, I'll buy ARMS for $20, sure.
I don't see Nintendo doing this, but at the same time, it's Nintendo. There is no clear yes or no. It's whatever Nintendo thinks is right, and I hope it's not this.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But with that, the system is of course going to be backwards compatible with the original Switch. I'm hoping. It's going to run at
If it wasn't, I would just what?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
It's going to run at 60 frames a second, possibly with 120 hertz, which I feel like at this point should be bare minimum. Like, look at the Series X, Xbox Series X, PS5. All these systems are running at an absolute minimum of 60 frames a second.
Sorry, I was gonna say that I was expecting it to run about as powerful as like a PS4 Pro, not
Yeah.
a PS5, but the best version of the PS4.
Actually, that was our next point. It's going to be comparable to the PS4's graphics, which, as we know, Nintendo is a very company that's behind the times. Like you were saying, they're a Japanese company. They are not the most efficient at getting the best technology, but it's also for pricing. So if you can have a
They also don't really care.
they
about having
don't
the best technology.
they don't
They can make the best games. They can make the best games for whatever they have. Like, look at Tears of the Kingdom. It is a gigantic game, bigger than a lot of the stuff that's releasing on like PS5 and Xbox 360, and it's running on a tablet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I can get this game
Imagine-
running on my Samsung Galaxy Tab A? No way, dude. It's crazy. Like, what Nintendo is able to do to get these games to run on these systems, it is unbelievable. With this power, like, oh, let's get one of the greatest games running of all time, but we'll do it using this rock. Yeah, so they're going to be using NVIDIA's T239 processor, which is reportedly being developed specifically for this system, which is a good sign that NVIDIA's doing something good with the system. NVIDIA has had a lot of involvement with the Switch in the past.
Yeah.
And just Nintendo in general. Another big scary thing is $70 is probably going to be the standard for games on the system. Of course with PlayStation, and of course with Xbox, that's going to be standard because these are big games, but this is Nintendo we're talking about. These games, like we were just saying, run on pencil lead. These, I don't think these should be worth the $70 thing, and like we were just talking about with Tears of the Kingdom. Specific games could be 70, but for the vast majority, I don't think they should all be 70. 60 yet.
But then again, there's
thanks.
also inflation,
Yeah,
which has gone up, and thus everything else is going to go with it. I
Absolutely.
mean, you kind of
I
have
think
to
they'll
raise
make
prices.
I think they'll make their biggest things, their 3D Marios, their Metroid Prime 4s, their Kid Icarus new game, or make all those $70, but like keep some of the less like the WarioWares of the world at like a $50 or $60.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that is all that we have for our leaks. Let's move into our wanted Nintendo Switch 2 games. I would love to see a Donkey Kong game. Like we were just saying,
Yes.
so many things are happening with Donkey Kong. This has to happen. This has to happen. Along with that, I would like to see like a sequel to Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey. I think with everything that Nintendo's doing with Mario, and even for like the 40th anniversary of Mario coming up in just next year, this could be giant. The 40th anniversary for Mario, that is a big milestone. They obviously have to do something big for it.
I personally want to see a new Zelda game at some point in its life cycle. Obviously, we'll probably see it at some point. I'm not saying like drop title with Switch 2. No, that's not what I'm saying. But like, I still want to see it eventually. I know it'll probably happen. If they don't put Wind Waker and Twilight Princess on the Switch, I would like it to be on the Switch too. And I would also like just new, maybe one or two, maybe just one new 2D Zelda game, like a completely new idea.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Do you think if they would do a new Zelda game, I know we kind of talked about this, do you think that this will be a sequel to Tears of the Kingdom, or do you think it'll be its own thing? Or
I do not.
no?
I would be extremely surprised if they did that. The creator of the game himself said that there was nothing left to add to the game. There
Except
was
for
nothing
Master
left.
Mode.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Master Mode, that's it. But otherwise, it wasn't enough to justify a DLC. Thus, I don't really see them adding in another sequel to it. I don't know. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah.
And plus, there's the idea of like the prequel to Breath of the Wild, which was now assured it wasn't actually a prequel, but I'll call it that.
Mm-hmm.
Age of Calamity. So we kind of already have our 3 games, adding a 4th. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the Mario Kart guy, so I personally want both of these. I want a port of 8 Deluxe with upgraded visuals and all of the DLC packaged into one thing, like 8 Deluxe Ultimate or something. And then like later in the Switches, like maybe like 1 or 2 years later, we get a brand new Mario Kart with completely different mechanics that can exist separately from 8 Deluxe, so that you have 2 different games sort of living side by side. Because I think 8 Deluxe is the perfect Mario Kart game, at least in what they have right now. So they'd have to go completely left field for a new Mario Kart.
Yeah,
Right.
I see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as like the Super Smash Brothers of Mario. I like the idea of an 8 Deluxe remaster, but Nintendo has been milking a Mario Kart 8 for so long. I don't see them continuing 8 Deluxe. I feel like by the time that the Switch 2 releases, 8 Deluxe will already have run its course. But I feel like Mario Kart 8 is going to take that legacy on and move it forward. At least that's what I see personally.
Personally, I feel like it could be interesting for the new Mario Kart game that may or may not happen to have like a more evolved battle mode. I feel like battle in
I think
in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I think they'll revamp that when they port 8 Deluxe.
That's a big thing.
Okay.
That's a big
That
thing.
could definitely happen too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a
I
big
don't know, I
thing.
just
The
feel like
battle
it just
mode
kinda got
is
left in the
really
dust.
big. The battle mode is really big. I'm happy that with 8 Deluxe they have a good battle mode, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's better than 8.
Yeah. By a
Mario
long
Kart
shot.
Wii.
By a long shot, it's better than
Double
8's.
Double Dash is my favorite battle mode. It's not as good as Double Dash or even Wii's, but it's still pretty fun.
Now, Double Dash is my favorite Mario Kart game ever, so I'm biased when it comes to that. I like 8 Deluxe's battle mode. It's almost like a big fight. And speaking of fights, I really want to see a new Super Smash Bros. Game. I would doubt that they would do a port of Ultimate, but I think that would be really cool to see like a fleshed out version of Ultimate. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, Ultimate isn't fleshed out at all right now.
Yeah.
Ultimate, like, if they added a few fighters or some more skins or something, people would just buy it for the visual upgrade and keep going.
Exactly. Now, I feel like if and when they do a new Zelda Smash game, they're gonna have to take out over half of that roster just to make sure that it's not watered down, because there are so many fighters in that one game. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There are
Right.
You can't make
so many.
Ultimate 2. I would say the same thing as Mario Kart is change up the game mechanics a lot so that it can exist separately of Ultimate, so people can keep playing Ultimate.
Yes.
Like, people still play Melee right now. So people can play Melee, they can play Ultimate, they can play whatever the new Smash game is.
I like the whole idea of getting a new Smash game because I'm so excited to see what a new Smash game could be. And with the 25th anniversary this year, I guarantee we're at least going to see something, whether or not that be Smash 64 on NSO or whatever.
I mean, Ultimate's been out for 5 years now.
Mhm.
Granted, Mario Kart 8 is for 10, but we don't talk about that.
We don't.
Nope.
But moving on to the next.
I put this down because a lot of people want a port of Kid Icarus Uprising, including Andros from the Nintendo pals and some other people. And that game that would be great, but what I would love even more is a brand new Kid Icarus, free of the 3DS. Kid Icarus game with PS4 graphics could look absolutely beautiful on this new system, and it could honestly be a seller or even a launch title if they did it well enough.
I
That's all
honestly
have.
really liked the original, like, Uprising and the 3DS. That was a really fun game.
F-Zero X and GX are some of the most high-speed, high-octane racing, and F-Zero 99 is just a really solid, fun online multiplayer game, which I really want to... They just added lobbies to that game, so I want to get together a lobby of people and play that game.
Oh yeah,
And
I'd be cool with that.
with the success that F-Zero 99 is having, I think it's a no-brainer for Nintendo to start development on a new game, because this is like, oh, they already have Mario Kart, they already have a racing game. F-Zero is not Mario Kart. F-Zero is like
No.
if you took the 200cc in Mario Kart and turned it up to 700cc.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is a fast game, and a good fast game at that.
And I'd be there for the racing. I've heard that a lot of people want like sort of a GTA style game where you go around a city as Captain Falcon and you like fight criminals and then you go do races to win like gambling things or for missions or something or other.
Tomodachi Life. Tomodachi Life is a game on the 3DS. John, would you like to take that from me? Just don't get arrested.
Yes, I would. Tomodachi Life port. I want to see it. I want Tomodachi Life on Switch too, or Switch. Honestly, I don't even care. I had like the biggest hotel in the game at one point, and then I accidentally deleted my save.
Ah.
Like legit.
Imagine.
It was sad. We've got the Miitopia sequel. Or
Yay!
a Miitopia
Yay.
sequel. I want to see a Miitopia sequel.
There we go.
I mean, come on. It was a good game. I want to see it again.
I played a bit of
Even
the demo.
better.
I played a bit of the demo on Switch, and it's from what I've played is really good.
Yes.
All I have is the demo because the only reason I use Miitopia is for making funny Miis.
Yeah.
And the full Mii creator is in the demo, so like,
Well, I mean,
I just wish that was the Switch's Mii creator.
now
It's so good.
Ooh. A revamped Mii creator.
it
That'd be
is-
awesome.
It is a very
Oh,
good game, at least from what I've played, especially with like just the demo, but also from what I've heard from other people. It's a really good game, and at least it's come out, unlike our next game.
Metroid Prime 4. Apparently this was announced like 10 years ago? How long ago?
2017.
2017.
2017.
Oof.
This is a perfect. This is a
Like
perfect
7
example
years ago.
of games being announced before anything's actually happened.
Yes. It was announced 7
It
years
also-
ago.
It also restarted development in I think 2020,
Yeah. And then on their website, is it whoever's making it, they are now having jobs open for concept developers, which just makes the whole thing much funnier.
More concept development.
Never going.
Like, it's not even started. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That's fun.
They released
fun.
the port of the first game last year. They're going to release the port of the second game next year, wait another year with nothing, and then the year after that, release the third game, another year of nothing, and then a year after that, Metroid Prime 4 will finally be released.
No, 4 years after that. 4 years after that. Just for the
4
numbers.
years.
Just for the numbers.
Just for the
4 more
They have the
years.
whole game.
4 more
They're
years.
just doing it for memes.
Oh, they're already angry, bro. Not really.
But one last thing that I'd be very angry if somebody didn't talk about.
Sure, nobody has thought about bringing this series back, but have you ever heard of the game Ice Climbers for the NES?
Absolutely.
Probably.
I've heard of the characters. Smash Bros.
Yeah, they're in Smash. So imagine that. So those two characters scaling up a mountain in the style of a 3D platformer like It Takes Two, where you have to play it 2-player and you solve puzzles with another person to scale to the top of the mountain and reach the goal.
Oh, I like that idea.
That'd be awesome.
I like that idea.
That's genius.
When I hear that, I think of a Portal 2 Ice Climbers almost.
Yeah, like sort of that style of puzzle where you have to create this puzzle to get higher up the mountain. And there
Yeah.
could also be combat. It Takes Two does have combat, but I'm thinking like combo moves with Nana and Popo, like they have in Smash, where you can like one of them can attach a line to the other and like swing it around to knock into people.
Yeah.
The possibilities for this are endless, and Nintendo should do it. I literally thought of it today.
Absolutely. Like, Ice Climbers is a series that nobody's heard of since Smash Brothers Melee. But I always think of that clip from Scott the Waz's E3 2001 video about like that one guy that cheered for Ice Climber, and like it cuts to the scientist and he's like, how does one man have this much love for Ice Climber? And just to be revealed
They will
that
sell
you are that
one
man.
copy.
You are that man.
They will sell one copy of this game, and that one copy will go to that man.
Who is you? You are that man.
Who is- I will be the only person to buy this game.
But
I
it's a
was
good
not
idea. It is a good idea. I love it.
Man, I wasn't alive in 2003. What do you mean?
Who knows? Time travel might exist. Who knows?
Oh, snap.
But moving on from that, those are all our wanted games. Now let's move on to the rumored games for the Switch 2. First up, we got Mario Kart X. At least that's the title that Jonathan likes to call it. We don't have an official...
Stop.
Or Mario Kart Crossroads.
Okay.
An option.
Mario Kart 9 is Mario Kart Tour. Thus,
Yeah, it
it
is.
has to be Mario Kart 10. But why not brand it as Mario Kart X? Because X is the same as 10 in Roman numeral. I don't know.
Hey, maybe it'll be called Mario Kart Focus.
It's supposedly supposed to release in 2025 to coincide with the release date of Mario's 40th anniversary, and is being co-developed by Bandai Namco. Yeah, it reportedly looks better than any other Mario Kart game ever. Okay,
Ever.
This is insane because we love good-looking Mario games, especially Mario Kart.
Yes.
And hearing this gives me hope that we're gonna have a good Mario Kart, even better than 8 Deluxe, which I didn't think was
That's
possible.
I will say, if it is co-developed by Bandai Namco, we could get Pac-Man as a playable character.
Oh, that's right. That's right, because they did it in the Mario Kart arcade GP game. They had Pac-Man.
That would be
and they did it
insane,
in
actually.
Smash too.
Why?
And also, they could bring some of those Mario Kart arcade tracks as well. Because those.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that.
Run on
Oh,
That's
the
genius.
retro cups. You could have like Kingdom Way.
yeah.
We use Kingdom Way theme for one of our segment intros.
Oh
That
my
track is great.
goodness, I didn't even think about that. Wow.
Bring all the Mario Kart arcade stuff into it, and that's a whole bunch of new tracks that people haven't played in the retro cups.
Oh my
which
goodness.
is hard to do after the booster course pass.
You're
So
putting stuff
there you go.
together, man. You're doing
Presto, you've blown No, you have not blown Landon's mind. You've blown Josiah's mind.
this. Well, Landon has been so awestruck he hasn't said a thing in the past 30 minutes.
Exactly.
After I heard the price of the Switch 2, I kind of just like,
He flatlined for a minute, and then
he was
gradually
like, oh,
came back
talk
every
about
now and then.
Nintendo.
Nintendo, I mean, it's alright, I guess, but like, moving on, we have an untitled Star Fox game. Okay, first of all, I'm just gonna stick with that for a second. Star Fox is one of the coolest Nintendo franchises that I've ever done. Like, I did a review of Star Fox on Retro Rewind. I talked about literally anything but the game because there was so much revolving around it. Like, Star Fox Zero, it wasn't very good. So to see a comeback to the Star Fox series, tell me a single person that does not want Star Fox. Oh,
They
wait.
could even tie it. They could tie it into a new F-Zero game because Zero and Star Fox are canonly in the same universe. Because at the end, one of the endings of Star Fox Command, Falco says, "Fox, hey, we're gonna go become Zero Racers."
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh,
What?
there was also some rumors when like the Switch was coming out that they were working on a Star Fox Metroid crossover. Could
Star Fox and just put them all together in the same universe, honestly.
Oh my goodness,
Have
this
it-
All three of
Star,
them?
this
Star
could be
Fox,
cool.
Metroid, and F-Zero.
This-
You have F-Zero be like the ground level, and you can like go do races, and then you can go fly into the sky as your Star Fox, and then you can go explore other planets, like Metroidvania style, like Metroid Prime 4, and just put it all together. You have Metroid Prime gameplay, Star Fox racing, F-Zero racing and Star Fox flying.
Oh my goodness.
So-
That'd be amazing.
You are great at conceptualizing things. We gotta have you on here more often.
Yes.
That's why I have a segment on my show called Game Pitch, because I like pitching games like this. I find it fun.
Man, it is such a good idea.
It's not gonna happen, but I find it fun.
But who
It'd be
knows?
fun.
It's
It'd be-
Nintendo. They'll
really-
do anything. They'll do anything.
Exactly.
It's an untitled Star Fox game that's reportedly releasing within the next 12 months. So
And is also
like, we don't even know the
reportedly
title.
finished. It's also reportedly finished. Like Mario Wonder finished. Probably not finished, but like really close to the ending
all-
of development.
yeah, very close.
So we
I-
could
if-
probably
if it
hear
is,
something
like,
in the
finished,
direct.
If it is finished, I think the only reason they wouldn't release it is because of the Switch 2 not existing yet. Like I
That's
feel like this
true.
could be a game that's developed for the Switch 2, especially because Star Fox Zero looked fine on the Wii U, and the Switch has like the same stuff as the Wii U, but a Star Fox game on a new system with like 4K graphics would be beautiful.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But moving on.
And hey, that's within the next 12 months.
Absolutely.
So.
I'm excited because that lines right up with the Switch 2's release date. But moving on, a new 3D Mario game is in the works. Production has equally wrapped up. It's supposed to be a launch title for the Switch 2, and wait for it, this game is 4 times bigger than Mario Odyssey.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I can't wait to
That's
play
the-
this, honestly. If
Mario
it comes
Odyssey,
out,
Mario Odyssey is already such a big game on its own. I don't know how they're gonna do 4 times bigger.
I don't need them to make the game. Like I personally think that's too big. A Mario game should not take like 20 hours to complete. Like
Yeah.
Odyssey, I can beat in under 2 hours. If I need to.
Yeah.
But if it's just like if the main story is as short as Odyssey, but the worlds themselves are very expanded, and it's like an Odyssey style open world thing, then I'm fine with that. I just worry if the story was 4 times as long.
Yeah. This is gonna be a good year for Nintendo.
Nintendo fans, Nintendo. It's gonna be a great year.
Or none of this will happen. None
Yeah.
of this will happen, and they'll port Chibi Robo Ziplash to the Nintendo Switch.
No, it's the anti-Gex.
What if that was like the only thing that they talked about at the Nintendo Direct? Like, just
Yeah,
that.
they go to the Nintendo Direct with a 40-minute presentation about Chibi Robo Ziplash.
No. What if it's?
Oh my
What if they just go, Wario?
Finally, we have a new Smash game, new Super Smash Bros. Game.
Oh.
Ooh.
Details will be announced in 2024 to coincide with this 25th anniversary of Smash 64. Possibly an HD remaster of Melee, and possibly a port of Smash Ultimate.
Okay.
Who knows?
Personally,
either.
can I interject my own thoughts into this?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I want it to be an HD remaster of Melee. Melee is such a good game. It is such a good game. It's one of the most influential fighting games of all time. Tell me another game of that era that is as influential as Melee. I'll wait. I feel like Melee is going to be a great thing to remaster, or they're just going to go with the new Smash game like we just talked about.
Exactly.
But with the 25th anniversary coming up, if it doesn't happen this year, I feel like they're going to do something in Smash Ultimate, but they're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
But
Hey, maybe they'll finally put Smash 64 on NSL.
that's probably what's going to happen, just to Or that could be it.
Or they'll have like a special tournament in Smash Ultimate, and like that's it.
Oh, they could do both.
Not
At
really.
the bare minimum.
I want to play Smash 64 on NSO so badly, because then we'll have that game with online play.
Oh yeah,
That would
I
just be
didn't even think about that. That'll be so cool.
If you like gaming, and specifically Nintendo gaming, you should go to youtube.com and search up Off the Wah, a Nintendo podcast, and go subscribe to that podcast. Or you can find it on Spotify, you can find it on Apple Podcasts, you can find it on Audible, or wherever else you get your podcasts. And you can also subscribe to my channel, Preston the Magnificent. There we go. I plugged all my stuff. We can finish the episode now.
And just go to youtube.com/gaming corner podcast, youtube.com/@gaming corner podcast. Subscribe, and then right under there, right at the bottom of that page, go to Off the Wall. We have you right on our channel. There you go. We made
Yo, I have you on my channel.
And
That's
me.
wacky.
Can I plug my own channel?
sure. We're
None of you got. Nobody who would ever watch or listen to a video game podcast would have any interest in Rubik's Cubes. But if you somehow happen to have such an interest, check out my channel, S-Class Cubing. It's cool.
S-Class Cubing. He's at what, like 117 subscribers right now?
119.
119. Wow. Awesome. Let's try to hit 120.
That's more than twice. That's more than both Preston the Magnificent and Off the Wall combined.
And
Oh
someday,
my goodness.
I hope you don't, but eventually you're probably going to take over, like, subscriber-wise, the GCP channel. Now I'm scared.
Maybe.
Now I'm
That's
scared.
cool.
So,
If my content continues to get better, I mean.
so just don't.
know.
Just don't. Just stop.
Just
Stop
stop?
it. Stop it.
Okay, I'll just stop.
Stop it.
Okay, I'll
right
stop.
now. No.
I understand. I'll stop.
No. Anyways, with that out of the way, I'm Josiah,
Landon.
I'm Jonathan.
I'm Preston.
and this is
Is
Gaming
Gaming
Corner.
Corner.